Hi, I'm Cody Anderson. My maiden name is Wilder. My mom's maiden name is Weist, and her um, mother's mother, or my mother's maiden name is Thompson. Um, I like to be called Cody, and my pronouns are she and her. What brings me to this class is I am on a faith journey, also a journey to be a pastor, ordained pastor in the United Methodist Church, or that's where I think I'm headed anyway. So I'm studying for my MDiv class. But another part that brings me to taking this course is just the way in which pastoral care has a huge part of being a pastor, and the ways in which I've had to walk with people in the process of healing and their health, and also in the process of death and dying, and not always feeling adequate in being able to be present in those places, and knowing that there is so much behind health and healing, death and dying, and to each of us that looks different. And so I'm really excited to kind of explore all of that and to figure out ways that I'm able to put it into practice in my own life, but also in the life of being a pastor and ministering to other people. Um, the ancestors and saints that I bring with me are probably my grandparents most of all. My grandmother and grandfather on my mom's side were um, more religious and more into, I would say, healing practices. And so I bring along them with me, Boyd and Margaret, or Midge as she was known, and also my father's parents as well, Art and Pauline. Um, so, what is health to me? And I have to admit that health is not something that was really taught in my household. It was not something, we didn't use a lot of natural remedies and medicines. Um, into our healing practices, and I didn't really understand even the healing practices that would come from being physically active and how helpful that is. And so as an adult, I've really grown with that. I'm still learning. I feel like I don't know hardly anything about it. But health for me is not only just about physical, but it's also about mental and emotional, and sometimes that is more crucial than that physical health. Healing for me is that practice of setting aside time and um, allowing the body to do what comes naturally to it without imposing my own views and positions and wants and desires onto it. It's really an art of taking time, being still and listening, and I've found that that is really hard for me, especially in those times of healing. Um, Death, obviously, for me in the church, it looks a lot different than a lot of different practices. And I think death has always been a hard one for me to struggle with, grapple with. It seems like it's the bad word. We don't want to talk about it because if we talk about it, then it holds power, and it could invite something bad to happen. And so death has always been a very taboo thing as I was growing up. And so it's something that I'm still working with and realizing that it's a natural part of who we are as people. And how do we embrace that process and come to a fuller understanding of it so that it's not taboo and scary? Dying also is the same way of how do we treat it with a space of dignity and respect, sacredness, and really help people not be afraid of that journey. Um, some of the things that, for health and healing, some of the things that I use in my own life for plants and stuff, and again, I'm very new at this, so I'm still learning and love to hear all the different ways in which I can use natural things to help out with healing and health. But I love using aloe for wounds, and I love using lavender. Lavender is a huge thing for me. It helps me calm down, helps helps bring me a little bit of relaxation. I was really interested to read reading and the ways in which all the different herbs and plants that were used, but the one that really struck me was the brewed peach tea leaves for upset stomachs. And I went, oh, I should really, that sounds like something I'd even want to try for myself. Um, as far as soundness, um, that is one that I'm still kind of reflecting on and trying to think about. Soundness to me seems like the whole body, and trying to figure out um, how we are in our healing process and our health. And so soundness would be sound mind, sound body, that we are in a stable and place where we feel like we could handle anything that comes our way. There's nothing that's holding us back. To me, that's what soundness is. Dissemblance, we're thinking about if this is still practiced in our society. I think definitely it is. I would even look at it as like we hide a lot of how we're actually doing and feeling, and so if we're having a hard day, we hide some of those things as well. So I look at it too as that hiding of not only that strategy to avoid, but also hiding our true feelings. Like I can go around pretending like everything's really great, and inside probably not. There's struggles there. There's things that I'm ignoring and not quite healthy, and so I see that happening around me all the time. Um, I think as working parents, we see that as well in ways in which we struggle with providing for our children and having health care in a society that healthcare is a huge part of our industry and who we are, and how our healing processes go. That is a huge part of it as well. So I don't even know if I made any sense. And so there you go on my soundness of mind. But I look forward to this class and just learning a lot more about these crucial parts of who we are as humans, and how to embrace our humanity in all of those things, and to be able to walk with people along the way of their journeys. So I look forward to getting to know more of you and more about this topic. Thanks.